everyone. Welcome to Real Men's Talk, where it is sizzling hot, interactive, and transforming. This is another interesting topic we are going to treat today in Real Men's Talk. In an earlier episode, we discussed how to manage in-laws. You can take time to watch the replay. There were so many insightful thoughts shared there, and they can be helpful. Managing in-law can be challenging at times, but coping with difficult in-laws can be a big issue. So let's delve into the topic, coping with difficult in-laws, as we treat different cases as time permits us today. I have in the studio my co-hosts who are going to be delving into today's topic. Mr. Oluwafemi Oluwalere.
Good evening, viewers. Happy weekend.
And we
Thank you
also
for
have
having
Dr.
me.
Femi. And we also have Dr. Femi Samuel.
Good evening, viewers. Good evening, everyone. Hope you have a nice weekend.
Yes, we have. So, coping with difficult in-laws. I remember I'm going to go to Dr. Samuel first. I remember in that earlier episode, how to manage in-laws. You said our in-laws are treated as deity in Africa. So, how should one treat? How should one handle the situation where the in-law is making one's life miserable, unbearable?
Thank you very much, Mama T. It depends on the fact to remain that in Africa, our mode of marriage, you marry to the family. You marry into a family. You don't marry a personality. That's the mode of marriage. In order no one else. Hello, am I audible?
It's breaking.
Hello.
Now we can hear you now. We can now hear you.
Yes. Thank you very much. As I was saying, our mode of marriage, they will marry into a family. We don't marry an individual. You tend to, if I no matter how young.
Oh, can we still hear him? Can we still hear you?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes,
I don't know what's going on with my network.
Okay, it's going off and on.
It's even been believed that you are younger than the youngest child in that family. That you are younger than the youngest in that family. Even a boy giving birth in that family that is as young as 5 years old Culture believes that you should respect that boy because that boy entered that family before you. So in such a setting, you find it difficult to express yourself in a setting where everybody believes that you are the last born or the last child of the house. It's being seen as if your married into that family signifies your birth. So people have been giving birth to that family before you, and you have to offer them to respect them, their due respect. So the question is, how do you deal with such people when they are becoming difficult? It's a big issue. You need a lot of wisdom. The wisdom, because marriage is more like a marathon race, not like a sprint race. In sprint, like 100-meter race, you can run, within the next 10 to 12 seconds, you are through with the race. So you use all your strength at once, and the race is over. But in a marathon race, you are going to maybe on that race for hours. So you have to devise technique to survive for as long as possible in that race, and that is what surviving all in-laws means. It's not what you just go and come back in shortest time. We intend that your marriage will be for years, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. That 50 is not just a sprint race. So how do you survive? The survival depends on what situational analysis, what is on ground. If you look at what is on ground, if what is on ground permits you to be patient, to be quiet, to understudy event, and to come up with maybe your game plan, you may have to do that. There is no hard and fast rule saying that this is what you must do. But you must be sensitive enough to understudy, number one, that family, number two, the origin of the problem, the predisposing factor, the precipitating factor, or the potentiating factor. If I try to explain you, what is the predisposing factor? Maybe you stay in family house. There's no way you stay in family house, you see yourself so often, you step on your toes. You step on toes. They will step on your toes. They will see more of your strength and your weaknesses when you stay close by. That's the predisposing factor. What is the next step? Can you move away from that family house to where they will not have access to you often? If you're in a family house, they know what you eat, they know why you're happy, they know why you're going out, they know why you buy new clothes, and that will cause a lot of problems in the family. More so in the family where people have entitlement mentality, thinking that we send this boy to school, this boy should bring money home. See, it's why he's changing clothes. I ask him for money for school uniform, and he's not giving me. So you have to look at it from that point of view. So what is the predisposing factor? What is the potentiating factor? The factor that makes it to come up. Is it that when you go to tap to fetch the same water, or you are at the kitchen, you meet in general kitchen, that is causing that fight? Coupled with the fact that they've had beef for you because of what you've been coming up with. You analyze the precipitating factor and say, no. Let me look at the fact that they modify you can change. Or we talk about the potentiating factor. What is making the problem to be ongoing? With difficult in-laws. I don't know if I'm still audible. My network is not friendly.
Okay.
We are still audible.
Okay. Hello, sir. Mr. Oluwalere. Okay.
Yeah.
His network is not so good. So let's continue. When he comes back, he can continue on that. Looking at coping with difficult in-laws, I want us to look at it from 4 different perspectives. Those areas, what are in those areas that you have in-laws becoming difficult and treating their son or daughter-in-law badly? And most of the cases, it can be on the extreme. And when that is where you have a lot of issues. So let's look at the financial aspect of it. You know, sometimes maybe the family of the wife are financially buoyant, and let's say somehow they are supporting the family. In such a situation, you can find the in-laws, it could be the father or the mother of the wife, becoming controlling. Number one, they want to control the husband. They may want to enslave the husband. They may even not give the husband respect. After controlling their family, they still want to control the man as an individual. How should one cope with that, Mr. Oluwaleri?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mama T. To me,
Welcome, sir.
there is no in-law that is not difficult, and there is no in-law that is not good. It depends on the way you look at it, and it also depends on the way you handle it. Starting from the point of view of where my in-law is well to do, and they have given their daughter to me. And because of the fact that they have given their daughter to me, I need to be under the whims and caprices of whatsoever they say. I don't think it should work. Why it should not work is that when you say you give your daughter out, you have given her out completely. And that's the way I actually want us to look at it. And the moment a man and a woman get married, it is believed they have become one. One in the side of the husband's family, one in the side of the wife's family. So if we regard ourselves as one, whatever you give your daughter is assumed has been given to me. And whatever is mine is for my wife as well. So the fact that you have given out something or you have farewell to do shouldn't give you the leverage to control me. Because they said, you shall leave your house and the two of you will get married and you become one. We are no longer with them. Even if we live in the same family house, it is still believe we are in a different house. It's like people who live in face me, I face you. And they are of different husbands and wives. No matter the number of rooms in that building, each of them is a different home, even if it is in the same building. And that's the same way they will look at it. And that is why, to me, I don't really advise a situation whereby the husband and wife will live in a family house. It's not the best thing. It is not the best thing. The wife and the husband, they are independent of anybody. They are in their own world. They've started a new life. And if they have started a new life, it is expected that that life should be devoid of any interference. Well, you may give us anything, because you know at the time I'm coming to marry your wife, you know I'm just farewell to do. And if I'm farewell to do, and you say agree to give your wife, I mean your daughter to me, that daughter becomes my wife. And what it means is that you have given the control to me. And if you have given the control to me, then you have no right to control me. Of course, I may take advice from you. As a leader, you can give advice because you are in it more than myself. You are more experienced. You have seen life more than myself. But even at that, I think I should still have a degree of independence. And that degree of independence must be respected. So, that you are the one financing is because you like to do it. You know I am fair well to do when you give your wife, I mean your daughter to me. You know I'm not as rich as you are, your daughter to me. So whoever I am that you have agreed to give her to me becomes mine and mine alone. So you should exercise a minimum level of control over me. And that's why I pity those after they have left their father and mother, they have cleaved to their husband and they still go back to take control. You are just digging your grave. I'm sorry. The two of you should be independent of anybody. We are not saying they cannot advise. We are not saying they cannot give useful advice. We are not saying they are not more experienced than you do, but you are left to accept their advice if you like. And if you like, you may not accept it. So the part that they are, maybe they are the one financing. They know my level when they give her to me. And for the fact that they have agreed to give her to me, they should leave me and my wife at least to live our own life. And whatever they still believe they should do for us, do it. And if they don't want to do it, then to the best of our ability, leave us in our own world. I think that's the answer I will give for now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Samuel, I wanted to complete your thought before you went, the network went off. Then at the same time,
thank you very much.
Before you came in, we were able to discuss, as in, we put it that there are basic areas that the in-law become overbearing. So we look at it from the angle of finance, control, manipulation, and overbearing. So we are on finance. So Mr. Oluwaleye just spoke about when the family of the wife are the financier of the family. Probably they own the house they are living, they own the car they are driving, so they want to enslave the family. They don't respect the man. They want to control him and control his family. So Mr. Oluwaleye just spoke about that. So I want you to look at a situation where the in-law are demanding. Most of the time, it goes to the wife's family. They don't care if you have the money or not. You just have to do certain things. So they become demanding, and it can cause a lot of strain on the family. So I want you to address that.
Thank you very much, Mama T. Before I was cut off by the network, I was trying to create a scenario, paint a scenario in which that put precipitating factor and potentiating factor, that you cite those things out, and you have to sit down with your partner and look for a way, to sort the relationship out. That's what I wanted to say. Then you asked me about the issue of I think control. Is it control you asked?
No,
the control.
Demanding in-laws.
Mama T.
Mr. Oluwaleye spoke about demanding in-laws.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Finance. Demanding in-laws. This is Africa.
Or let's say over-demanding.
And there is no doubt about that. Yeah. I will give you your dues. Also, we also, in this part of the world, when you marry someone's daughter, you tend to take the responsibility of the daughter. How do I mean? If the daughter happens to be the first girl, and he has first child, ask other people to cater for in their home, he may have to take care of her responsibility, Responsibility like paying the school fees of the younger ones. In those days, what is the norm? You go to your father-in-law's farm to work in that farm. Literally, you go and work in that farm. When it's planting season, you have to go there and help the man to weed and plant. In harvest season, you go there and help them to harvest. That is it. And in some cases, if you are far away, you can't access them. You have to bring some food stuff to support the family. Maybe bring raw materials, yam or so. Even to getting things like seed, give to the in-laws as a form of support, because it seems as if that in fact some people believe you don't finish paying the dowry. It's still counted as part of the dowry, as your responsibility. And if the father-in-law now died in some parts of the Africa, is the in-law that will dig the grave. Can you see how complex? So you are not just taking the woman away without being responsible or remembering that family. Now, in a case where someone is overbearing, over demanding, they are demanding beyond what you could do. You see, every human being can place their demand. We also place demand on God. Don't you ask God some things, but you don't have to answer. God does not have to answer all prayers. There are some prayers that God will just be quiet over, not because you don't really need it, but in His infinite wisdom, He doesn't want to give it. And that's what makes Him God. Now, you as a man, someone is over demanding from you. If you are asking me as a civil servant to get you, what's it called, Range Rover Sport 2021 model, for crying out loud, unless you want me to steal, or you feel that I have place where I'm stealing money, or to go into Yahoo Plus, where will I get the money from? I still have to let you know that this is what I can afford, but in my capacity, I cannot afford this because it is not available. People over demand, not only in every part of the world. Because it's rating, they will just rate you that they can even be comparing it to that social person in-law is buying them car, building houses for them. What is your in-law doing? Not knowing that we are not all equally gifted. So if you have an over-demanding in-law, I'm not telling you you don't have to disrespect anybody. You don't have to insult anybody. You can still say your no, say it quietly, gently. And if you are asked the same question 50 times, you are saying that same no quietly. Your answer is known to you. So you don't have to steal. You don't have to go out, do what you are not supposed to do to make money available or to satisfy your in-law. So if you happen to have an over-demanding in-law, please learn how to say no and say it courteously, putting all the facts on the table. My salary is no more than this. This is how I spend my money. After all my spending, this is what I have left. How on earth will I be able to afford this? If they are understanding people, they will understand. Though we know that there may be, because of the situation of the country, there are times in which even the couple or the man themselves may not even have enough to spend. So the little right they are demanding from you can be an over-demanding. For instance, a man that is earning like 60,000 naira in a month, he pays out rent like around 8,000 naira. By the time he pays some other things, school fees, feeding, the money left with him is less than 4,000 naira in a month. And he's still hustling to look for something else to do to bring in money. You are now asking for 20,000 naira at the end of the month. You are going to kill his family, not feeding his family. So you just have to explain to them. Times are hard. And I will not expect people to sell their conscience, still make this country worse off in trying to fulfill the sacrifices requested by the deity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, that's amazing. Mr. Lualere, Dr. Samuel mentioned
Was it
comparing
my network?
in-laws. He comparing in-laws. So in some cases, you see
Hello.
some in-laws comparing the in-laws of maybe of their neighbor, of their own sister, or even their children, other children that, okay, your sister's husband, that's what he does. He did this, he did that. They're not comparing, and they're making the man feel incapable. They're making him feel, they're making him feel miserable. So what do you have to say to that, sir?
Thank you very much. Uh, we say
Dr.
fingers are
Samuel.
not equal.
Yes.
We say fingers are not equal.
Yeah.
And if we say fingers are not equal, then why comparing? When you start comparing, you are creating problem for that family. So that's why it's not good to compare. It is the blessings of God that is devoid of sorrow. So just depend on what God has given you. Stop comparing. If you see people who are well to do, just pray that you get to their own level or possible surpass it. But you don't need to compare. When you start comparing, you are creating problem for those couple. And that is why there is no amount of prayer you can put on me. I cannot do beyond my power, my level. If you begin to put that power, what you are trying to do or what you are trying to say is that you are telling me to go and stay. And if I stay, the disgrace comes back to me because it's my name that is affected. So definitely, any law that is comparing doesn't like, it doesn't wish his children well. So they should stop comparing. And for the children too, well, if people start comparing, don't argue. Just be watching them, looking at them. If they ask you to provide what you know you don't have the power or the ability to provide, don't argue. When you say yes, don't begin to say, I don't have it, I can't have it. Okay, you are trusting God. If you have it, good. If you don't have it, there is no court of law that says that you must be jailed because your in-law asked for something and you cannot provide it. What if you are his son and you can't provide it? Will he kill you? So the issue of comparing to me is not the best thing. It's not a good thing. And comparing people is like heaping a coal of fire on that matrimonial home. So to me, I think the issue of comparing shouldn't come up at all. And the husband is the head of the family, is the one that will have a firm control over his wife, over his home, or else people will just come and spoil the home for him. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Samuel, let's now go to the issue of control. In the last episode, the earlier episode, you said that
Yes.
sometimes what we call hatred is someone trying to subdue the other person, saying, I was in control before your arrival and I am still in control. So in the case where the mother-in-law wants to decide for the couples, we've had cases of mother-in-law shopping for the homes. She does the grocery, she does everything. She wants to control everything. So it's telling the child that I'm in control, telling the wife I'm in control before your arrival, I'm still in control. And she wants to do everything. So how do one handle that?
In the men we have nowadays, the men we are breeding, it's a pity that they are not being bred by the men. That is where you start thinking of the generation of men that will take over from us. When we talk about the issue of control, okay, let me start by it. I have so many people around me that have noticed this problem in their life, that the mother want to control the man. I mean, the mother-in-law want to control the husband. It will be so obvious. And there's nothing anybody could do about it. More so, if the mother-in-law or if the in-laws happen to be the person, the sustenance of that family. I mean, they are rich. They have money to spend. In this our present economy, you can have a child, 32 years old, you still be the one to pay everything for the marriage for that child because he's here to find his feet. And let me paint this scenario. Most of the kids we give birth to now, we take them to school. From kindergarten to primary school to secondary school. When they are going to secondary school, we do school hunting, move around from one school to another to decide the school they want to go to. We pay the school fees. Most of them have never worked for their life. In their life, most of them have never worked with their hand. They don't know what it means to earn money. They've been dependent on us over their years. When they have to go to university, we decide the course we want them to study. We decide the school. We go to that school before then to discuss with our colleague in that school the course their child wants to study. We fill the form for them. When they are going to that school, we follow them to the school, pack their load into the hostel. Not knowing that this is someone that we are hoping will take over from us, should be independent. Now the child, after leaving school, where is he going to serve? We will still call one or two of our friends to influence the posting, come and serve in Lagos, in my friend's company. Automatically, we are losing this control. We are gaining more control. Where they are supposed to take decisions in their life, will be the one deciding for them. So when it's time to get married, we also have input into the person they will marry. You bring this one, I don't like it. Bring that one, I don't like. Okay, this one I like it. The mommy at home must approve. After the marriage, the work he's doing, his take home is not taking him home. Cannot really feed their family. What do you expect? You still come and support. The first car they use when they're in school, you bought it for them. Now that car is getting old. You need to change it. You still look for a way to change the car for them. Automatically, you are in control. And you now happen to marry to that man. The man, over his years, believes that the mother is a superwoman, knows everything, takes all decisions. In fact, all the best decisions he has taken in life has been taken by that woman.
By your parents.
And those decisions have never failed. What do you call that? That is total control. Now, if you happen to marry to that man, you have to be accountable. Just like I said it initially, the marriage life is not a spiritual, it's a marathon. You need to learn. Then, how do you now take over from a woman? Women are territorial in their nature. They want to control everybody. Even they want to control the husband. The woman will control the husband. Someone cracked a joke and that the boy asked the mother and said, "Mommy, at what age will I get to that I don't have to tell you before going somewhere?" The mother said, "Even your father has not gotten to that age." And that's the truth. They want to be in charge. So you have that woman to be your mother-in-law. She's rich, she has work. So what do you expect? With your salary, you can't afford a car. She will need to get money to support you and buy the car for you. The one she bought for you when you were in school, she will sell it, add money to it. You add little money to it. You are paying less than 20% or 10% of the total fund of the car. Your apartment, they took the decision where to be. So what do you expect from that man? What is happening and more of it will happen under our nose. So such men, how do you expect them to take decision? You don't have the financial backing. You've never been used to taking decision all through your life, and now you are with a woman that is telling you, no, I want my home. Who don't have a home? It's a joint home. And the head of that home is still the mother-in-law. So how do you now do it as a woman? The first thing you have to do, if you are smart enough, is to win the heart of that woman. You can't fight. It's a battle that has been programmed for you to fail ab initio. You won't win. There's no way you will win that. You will only fight. What betide you if you are not from a rich home like the boy? So how do you do? And you have to keep a home. You can't be divorcing. So you have to flow along with that man, with that woman, and make the woman to hand over to you. And no, it's women to women. They can even preempt the next move of their daughter-in-law. So the daughter-in-law is going to suffer a bit. It's going to show total submission to that woman. If the daughter-in-law is always fighting that woman, that house will be so hot. The few years or the years she will stay there, that means if she survives, if you generally stay there to the end, to be in hell. So the mechanism is you have to be calm. Let the woman know that I'm not taking over your son. This is it's still your boy. You gave back to this boy. It's your boy. I'm here also as your daughter. So that this boy can survive and you'll be proud of the boy, can do well in life. How do we help the boy out? You have to do that. If you say you want to fight, well, good of you. What I'm saying is it's not an ideal case. The ideal is that for the woman to live there. According to what the scripture says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, and those two shall become one flesh. But in this case, it may not happen. And you can't fight it out. In fact, if you look at the way family goes, I have brothers that have been married maybe 16, 20 years, all those things. This is when they start getting to 15 years. You see the wife having mouth to talk in that family. To even challenge the mother and say, Mommy, things are not done this way again. No. This is obsolete. You will earn that respect. Hello.
Now we can hear you. We can now hear
Hello?
you.
Okay, hope I'm still audible. You will
No,
do
the line went off
just because
for a while.
Just because yes, my network fluctuated. Just because you just need that. Yes, I noticed that. Just because you want to gain their trust, you need to gain their trust. The reason why the woman is doing that may be because she has one or two kids and she's not safe. She's not sure her kids, her boys are safe with another woman. She may not be paranoid on their children's safety in a wicked world. So she wants to be there to monitor everything. So you have to be to that woman and say, don't worry, your boy is safe. I'm here for good. And after a while, the woman will now study you. Let you lose on a longer leash. Okay, let me see what you can do. Before I can now say, okay, I'm here for you. You can handle the boy. You're not one of the bad girls. If not so, if you start a war, that house will collapse. More so if the boy is not the type that can take his stand. So when you're marrying a mama's boy, be prepared with all the attendant consequences. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That is so amazing, so insightful. Mr. Oluwalere.
Yes.
Let's go to manipulative in-laws. Some in-laws can be corny. They have corny attitude. They have a way of manipulating people. How do one address? It could be from either side.
Well, it is the way you prepare your bed that you lie on it. If you give them the room to manipulate you, of course they will. If you don't give them the room, everybody will know their territory. I won't have cause to leave my territory for another person's territory. Neither will I expect such person to leave his own territory and come to my own territory. Like I said at the beginning, there's nobody who is not difficult and there's nobody who is not sweet. It is the way we handle it. But one major thing that has been helping me is when you say something is no, stand by your no. Before you decide to say no, you would have factored in so many things. You must have weighed before you give in that verdict. So, in such a situation, if everybody know their boundary, people will not go beyond that boundary. And that's not to say you should abuse them or be disrespectful. No. Handle it in a matured way. If they keep on asking you, if they keep on disturbing you, just be keeping quiet, maintain your standards. And you discover after some time, they will lead you to your destiny. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we'll go to the last aspect of those areas we feel in-laws can be manipulative. Talking about overbearing in-laws. So in this case, it could be brothers, it could be sisters, it could be other members of the family of the spouse who could be overbearing. So people that are overbearing at certain attitude, we could include their domineering, their dictatorial, they are rude, they could be arrogant, they could be haughty. They always want to have their ways. And sometimes they could be insolent, inconsiderate, or disdainful, or scornful. So when in-laws are demonstrating such attitude, maybe the husband wife or the wife's and the husband relatives or the wife relatives, how should that be handled? Dr. Samuel. Is he here? Dr. Samuel, did you hear the question? Did you hear the question?
No, ma. My network completed.
I was asking about overbearing relatives of the spouse. When they demonstrate some funny attitude, like they are being disdained, they are disrespectful, and the rest of them, how should that be? And sometimes you could see let's say the elder sister of the husband mistreating the wife of the younger sister, and for the fact that she's your youngest brother's wife doesn't mean you should disrespect her. Different scenario like that. How should that be handled?
Well, I would say that I've experienced that at some level in my life. And they do that in an attempt to get at you. They do it in an attempt to get at you because they can't get at you and they'll be getting at her. The best thing is just to let it go. So far, the contact is minimal. You only see yourself. You only see yourself once in a while. Maybe when you go for family reunion or so. Those times you go. Just what I did then was just, though I know there was a time I had to threaten back. And the threatening was that, if you repeat this thing again, I will get back at your husband. And I said that, and you know me, I don't start a fight, and when I start, I don't stop. And with that alone, She kept calm for a while. Because I said that, have I ever disrespected your husband? Have I ever crossed this line? Don't make me do it. If I start it, your husband's respect is gone forever. And she knew what I could do. So she kept calm. So sometimes people do it. More so, the unmarried one, they could be so unruly. Just the way Yoruba is that you cannot cut a tree, you can get the root. So they get people that are vulnerable, that they know that if this one fight back, because of the family system, the family will support them against the woman. So they will hit the woman with the full support that the family will back them up. So sometimes you just have to keep quiet and let it go. It's time. I said something earlier on. Women, they will get their freedom. Just like when God was praying for Esau. When Jacob was praying for Esau, he said that the time will come that you will get your freedom. You will be free, you will be liberated. That time will come. And what you can do at that point in time is to maintain minimal contact. Minimal contact is just only phone call. People that want to bully you will need to see you physically. And when you are seeing you physically, you have a function, you enter the burial or the wedding on that day, and you are leaving that day. So when did they have the time? The little time they need to bully, they will bully and you will go. So sometimes fighting is headlong. You see, it's easier said than done when you are already gained masteries. At this time, I've gained mastery, I can do anything I want to do. But then it was not so. Especially for the younger ones that are not even married. They can be so nasty. So nasty. So what you do now, everybody is married now. Nobody's talking. There is now peace. Because you know that even your own wife is not even trying at all. So you don't want to bring it up so that I will not talk. So sincerely, looking at all these things, one needs a lot of wisdom to handle it. You want to keep your home, you want to stay in your home, you don't want things to collapse. Because when the house collapses, everybody will blame you that you can't manage your home. Most people will not come and ask you in Africa, how did it happen? What did your in-law do to you? It is you that cannot manage your home. And no matter what you say, someone is going to come up and tell you that they passed through worse things and they survived it. And that will be true. They passed through worse things and they survived it. So what have they done for you? So it is you that know that you don't want your children to suffer as a result of broken home and make plans on how to survive it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Isolu Alere. In the earlier episode, Pastor Sheyi said that let the in-laws be calming down so that they can enjoy the fruit of their labor. What is your advice to the in-laws?
We're in a democratic world. The in-laws should learn to let people be independent. They should know once you have given out, you have given out. When you go to the market to buy cow or buy goat or whatever, they don't say, okay, take your cow and give me the rope. No, you go with the rope. So let it be treated in such a way. When you have given your daughter away for marriage, you can advise. But your advice is they are not bound to take your advice. Let them live their own words. Let them live their own life. Many parents have led their children astray. I pray none of us will experience such. But at least we should try to give them some level of independence. Well, the security situation in the country were accepted. But even at that, we still need to give them some level of independence. An in-law shouldn't be overbearing. If he wants himself to be respected, should not be overbearing. And if he has come to our daughter's home, he should know is outside his jurisdiction. And when he comes or she comes, he has to carefully behave herself. When you talk about one thing you enjoy mostly is marriage, especially when the level of understanding is strong and cordial. So an outsider shouldn't come and start teaching or lecturing or counseling that the daughter should behave or should do things the way she's doing it. No, things don't work like that. What works for you may not work for somebody else. So because of that, at least there must be a control. Good, you can give advice, but they are not bound to take your advice. And you are not bound to make it compulsory to them. No. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Samuel, what do you want people to take home on this subject matter?
You should know that we should treat others the way we want others to treat us. That's the golden rule. If you as an in-law, you are making life difficult, even for your daughter-in-law or for your sons-in-law, how do you want to be treated? How do you want your son or your daughter to be treated? If you take them as if they are your sons and your daughter, you'll be more lenient on people. People make mistakes. We are from different backgrounds. We have different upbringing. So the only thing is that, is their intention okay by me? Even though what you feel the person is doing is wrong, what is the intention? If the intention is okay, you can call the person and say enlighten the person more. It's your future as an in-law, either father or mother, that's your future. So when you make life difficult for them, you may not enjoy them later in the future because they won't be there for you. They will run away from you. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Olalere, something just flow into my mind now. Before I wanted to add it to what you want people to take home on the subject matter. Somebody was talking about in-laws. You're now advising parents that treat your
I'm not hearing you again.
Oh, the line went off for a while. So this whatever you did when you were younger, they will do back to you when you are old and they are the one in control. So what's your final?
The line is still cutting off. It's still cutting off. That question is not complete. Hello?
Oh,
hello?
What should people take home on the subject matter? What do you want people to take home?
Good. So many things. One, couples should know that once they get married, they are starting a new life. And that new life they are starting is dependent on them, the husband and the wife. They should not live another person's new life. No. They should not copy or compare. Where you are equally born, not equally talented. What you have, I may not have it. They should stop comparing themselves. If somebody is making it, if his home is peaceful, try to study them to see why that home is peaceful and adopt it. That is not to say maybe you photocopy the whole thing. No. Try to be independent. Try to read books. Try to go for counseling. Try to attend marriage seminars. Try to go for couples advance. And all this will help you. Don't live another person's life. Live your life. If you begin to live another person's life, or you give yourself room to be controlled, you are digging your grave. I think that's the advice I would give. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saz. It's been an amazing moment, some insightful and hard moments. And just a little recap that you should remember that you should remember that marriage is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So devise the technique for survival. So sometimes even their rights can be over demanding when you don't have it. And also to my sisters out there, the daughter-in-laws, that let your mother-in-laws know that I'm here for good. Because if you declare a war, you might not win the war. So on this note, we are going to wrap up on this episode of Real Men's Talk, where it is sizzling hot and interactive. So join us for another episode next week. Have a wonderful weekend, and bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Network, Lenny. Network.
Mine was fairly okay. Mine was fairly okay.
In fact, through our network, you take go off at all throughout.
At all. At all.
Didn't go off at all.
The doctor to go off again.
Release rest.
In fact, monsoon,
we are still live.
We are not live, are we?
We are still live.
No, I thought we are off.
We are still live. And it has gone off. That's interesting. Is the only one. Maybe we should just leave the studio. I confess studio today, so that it can come back and end the show.
I'll just leave, Abby.
Yeah. So let me call him to end the show. We are still live.